You're welcome.
Here come right now. Other one's right behind her.
It's shield.
These guys.
Huh?
You got 2 bullets, bro.
Thank you.
Thirsty.
Yep. Saw it. I was like,
Enemies eliminated. That's
Yeah,
where
take off running.
What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Mack gameplay, and today we're actually going to be talking about Mack's passive ability, something that we discussed on broadcast, and we're going to expand on it just a little bit here. So let's head over and let's check it out. So for those of you unaware, we did a new segment in broadcast called Buff or Bug, where we see something, not sure if it's intended or not, and then we kind of discuss it from there going forward. In that broadcast segment, we talked about the ability for Mack to regain more than 25 armor, which is what his passive ability is actually set to do. And then we didn't really know if it worked or not because I never noticed it. Well, editing this video down, and I will throw some footage on after we go through this, you can see that Mack does indeed get more than the 25 armor back whenever he downs someone. So if we look at his passive ability on paper, it says standard issue, starting the game with 25 armor, downing enemies instantly repairs this armor. With this being said, and with the footage that's going on now, as you can see that whenever you have 25 armor as Mack, and if you purchase the armor upgrade from the store, and then you down an additional person, whenever that happens, you actually gain up to 50 armor back, which is very interesting, and I don't know if it's working the way that it's intended to work. Now, this is something that I'd never noticed whenever I've played with Mack in the past. I've never looked down there because you assume that this passive ability is going to work the way the developers intended it to work, right? And the way that they intended it to work, from my perspective, was that whenever Mack starts the game, he has 25 armor. Whenever he downs someone, he instantly gets armor back upon downing someone, and he's good to go. And it never exceeded that 25 refund. Even if you had 25 armor and you had a total of 50 armor because you purchased the upgrade and you down someone, it was not supposed to refund you the additional 25 that I'm aware of. And, you know, looking back at when they made all these perk changes, because this is kind of what feeds into that, right? They changed all the perks in the game up. They gave 2 additional perks to every rogue. They gave different levels of armor to different rogues, and they removed the ability to repair said armor. This makes Mack kind of a broken character. Now, if this is something that the rest of the community knew about, then good for you. This is something that I personally didn't know about until someone actually brought it to my attention. And then once it was brought to my attention and I started editing this video, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is actually something that's in the game right now. If I remember correctly, whenever the developers did all those changes, they did come out and say, no, he's only supposed to get the 25 armor back. And I know that there's been issues with Mack across the board for quite a while now, where if someone downed and outright killed Mack on the battlefield, then there would be an armor drop and people could pick up Mack's armor and run around with it. And I know that that wasn't something that was intended. And that bug comes up fairly frequently, where you never know if you're playing with or against a Mack. You never know if it's going to drop that armor, and not knowing if you're going to drop that armor and give the enemy team an upper hand on a situation, then that kind of makes it feel kind of like meh. But also, I think that this goes hand in hand with it. So to me, what it sounds like is there's either 2 directions that they can take Mack, and they don't know why, because of course, why would they? They're the developers of the game. They could either have the passive ability function the way that it currently functions in game, where if you have no armor, you down one enemy, you get 25 armor back. You down another enemy, you gain an additional 25 armor. Or you down an enemy, you get 25 back. You down an additional enemy, you get no armor back, or it refills it up to that 25. But whenever you die, then you drop the armor. That's what it seems like to me. Ever since that they've introduced Mack, and ever since that they have introduced this perk rework system, Mack has been bugged in one way or another, almost every single update that's happened. It's either been really, really good for the enemy team or really, really good for the Mac user. And then the fact that he has access to the things that he has access to, like the light machine guns, submachine guns, frag grenades, and APS systems, like, he can be a force to be reckoned with in the right circumstances, especially like on respawn modes and stuff. And I was kind of wondering why there was a lot of people in some of these tournaments that's been going on, why they're prioritizing Mack over some of the other rogues. And I'm like, well, he has a passive ability that refunds armor, so that makes sense. You get an additional 25 HP back, basically, unless you're going against Fixer, whenever you down someone, so that's always good. And you see a lot of Dahlia pairs with that, because, of course, why would you not whenever you get Dahlia with the ability to do the same thing and also have the armor? But this is a weird combo. And like I said, I don't know if this is a bug. I don't know if this is a buff to the character. You know, the developers do like to go in and make these little tangent adjustments to the characters and not say anything to anybody about them. And then they're like, oh, yeah, it's functioning the way it's supposed to. I mean, look at Talon. Talon has gone through so many changes in the last 6 to 8 months that we have not been notified of, the community has not been notified of, that it kind of makes me sick to even think about. So this could be a simple situation as Matt got a an unspoken backdoor buff with this, and nobody's saying anything about it. I am going to reach out to the developers and see if I can get some type of clarification on if this is intended, if it's not intended, and what the deal is with it. That way I know, and I can communicate that with the rest of the community that yes, this is the way that it's supposed to be, or no, that this is a bug. So be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube, because whenever I get that response back, I will actually put a post out on the community tab of the channel. But be sure to let me know what you think. Do you think that this is a unintentional Mac buff? Do you think that this is working the way that it's supposed to be working? And do you think that this is a good thing for the character? I know that his light bomb is pretty not good, right? So if they buff his passive ability and make his passive ability kind of the key reason why you play with him, much like Lancer, then that makes sense to me. That makes his ability like, okay, it's situational, it's very easily avoidable, like it's not really that impactful on the battlefield, but his passive ability, on the other hand, makes him a force to be reckoned with. So do you like this change? Do you not like this change? What do you think about this change? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.
Why am I not killing him? That was weird.
One went
up
up.
top. Shooter in the back.
All right, I'm going to B, or A. I'm going to A. I'm going to A.
I'm planting the bomb.
We've armed the bomb. Defend it.
She gave her position away. She wanted the backpack. Back in the doorway here. I don't care.
She's going back.
Like back here.
Spawn. Our spawn. She's right. He's on cannons.
Enemies eliminated.
Somebody was in the middle.
They've been going to fruit stand and then rotating from there
Up
once the
there.
reveal happens.
Yeah, I hear him in the middle. I'm gonna watch.
Hit him for 39.
Bitch.
Secrets there.
He's on tree.
You
The fuck is that? Oh, it flashed me.
Sorry. It just goes off and the round ends and they win
Well,
somehow.
It was weird because when it was sitting there, normally it has that charge on it.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that?